Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hockey Think Tank podcast, brought to you by the Hockey Think Tank community. Place for all passionate hockey players, parents, and coaches to go to get a little bit of education and a little bit of inspiration regarding the greatest game on the planet. What an episode we have for you guys here today. We are bringing on current Montreal Canadiens goaltender Jakub Dobeš, one of Jeffrey Lavecchio's guys that he trains in the summer. He's had him for, I think it's like 7-8 years now. Just got called up to the show in his first game. Shutout ski, but grew up in Czechia. Then he moved out to St. Louis when he was 15 years old, played his junior hockey, and then went on to play his college hockey at The Ohio State University before going on to play pro, and now he is in Montreal playing in the NHL. Before we do get over to Jakub, though, and before we get over to the talent on our podcast, the one Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio, got a couple updates here for the Hockey Think Tank. Number one, this Hockey Think Tank community, guys, absolutely blowing up. Absolutely blowing up. One of the reasons why is we get the opportunity to bring on some awesome people once a month to talk some hockey with our community members. And this month, we got Barry Smith. Barry Smith, 7-time Stanley Cup winner. He was a coach for the Detroit Red Wings in the Yzerman years. He was a coach with the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Lemieux Yager years. He was a consultant with the Chicago Blackhawks in the Kane and Taves years. Guys, one of the smartest hockey people that I've ever met in our entire life. If you want to be a part of those conversations, go to community.thehockeythinktank.com. Sign up today. Join the hundreds of members that are already in there to get some exclusive content and some awesome stuff like Barry Smith Conversation. And that is Sunday, January 26th. So get into it today. Now, let's bring on the talent of the podcast. Jeffrey, Jehu, Lavecchio, Tooth Missing, Tat Man, GMBM, Super Male Model Zoolander.
Thank you. That was the one I was waiting for. Now I'll jump in.
All right, here we go. What's up, brother?
What's up, dog? Hey, what a fun episode, man. I love having my guys on. I can't lie. It's so fun having guys that I work with on and letting them chirp me and going back and forth. And, you know, there's just nothing cooler than seeing guys you work with for years and years and years achieve any goal, but obviously the ultimate goal of playing in the NHL and seeing Dobie do it and having him FaceTime me at the hotel. You know, look, we're in the Four Seasons and across the street is the Ritz-Carlton and the beach is right there. And this is a little bit better than riding the bus in the A. And, you know, it's just so cool to see. And I love seeing people that earn it, get rewarded.
How many people all time do you think? This would be actually a really good stat. They play their first NHL game against the defending Stanley Cup champions and get a shutout as a goalie. He might be the first ever to accomplish that.
Be. I think there's only a few that have gotten a shutout in their first ever game, I believe. And there's only a few that have only, you know, won both their first two games and only let in one goal. Like he might be the only one who's done that. Let in
and
one
win
goal
in a shootout. He won in a shutout, allowing 0 goals against, and then he won in a shootout against like the Colorado Avalanche. Not a bad team either.
and he made them look like they were children shooting on him, just like so calm in the net. Yeah, man, nothing, absolutely nothing cooler. And it's been really cool, you know, just seeing all the guys just support him, you know, that train with him, that played with him, and are in the gym with them every year. So it's just been a really cool past week here.
Yeah. And for all the kids out there, like this is a kid who came over here, you know, and it is a marathon, not a sprint, guys. Like he played 18U hockey. Oh my God, somebody played 18U AAA hockey and made it. Oh my gosh. You choose the marathon route. Typically that's the better way to go, you know, like And yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Really, really cool. I thought it was really cool too. Like it was bringing me at least back to like being in the locker room, almost like hearing the stories about you and him chirping each other, and then hearing the stories about him and the big cat Adam Nicholas chirping each other.
That's right.
Yeah, the big cat texted me. He's like, "You had Dobeš on? Like, what did he say?" I was like, "Oh, there's a little chirping going on."
What did he say? He chirped your shootout performance, big cat. How do those cheeseburgers taste?
But Big Cat ended up winning the first, bet. So
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well done, big cat. Drink another coffee.
But yeah, man, this was a really cool episode. I think it's really cool for all the kids to listen to this one first, to understand kind of like what it takes to make it, right? Like we talk about, and you talk about some stories about training him and some of the things that he did and just how consistent, how much of a worker he is. And then it was really cool to get in the mind of like a really elite, especially a goaltender, but just like the mindset and the consistency and the preparation that this kid has. I would say is probably a 10 out of 10. You don't say that very often, or I wouldn't say that very often, a 10 out of 10. Like that's the top 1% of the 1% of the 1%, but that's why he's in the NHL. And if you have a dream of doing that, like listen to this episode. It'll be really valuable for you.
And one of the things that Dobie's the best at out of anybody maybe I've ever worked with in any sport that's at the highest level is his ability to stay calm.
Yeah.
Like even you can tell even in his voice, the way he talks, like he's just a very calm person. If things aren't going well, he still stays calm. If things are going well, he stays calm. And it's the way he plays. He looks very like controlled and calm. And it's just like, it's definitely a skill. He was that way when he was, 17, but every year it's just gotten, more and more so. And I'm sure a big part of that is because of his self-confidence. Like he does everything he can to be as prepared as he can every single day. So I'm sure that a piece of his ability to stay cool, calm, and collected is because he trusts his preparation,
Totally, man. I mean, it's the best way to earn, right? We talk about that, earn your confidence. And the best way to earn your confidence is to be prepared.
Right.
And he talked about that on the podcast. Like, I'm confident because I didn't leave any stone unturned. I did all the work. I did the visualization. I did the nutrition. I did everything that I need to do. And
weird.
Man, yeah, crazy how that works. Crazy how that works. Turning into another page, I want to say something really quick. So on our podcast, guys, you know that we are not just a hockey podcast. We consider ourselves a life podcast, and our mission, our goal is to help everybody who listens to get some kind of insight or perspective, whether it's from us or whether it's from our guests, that can help you in whatever it is that you're going through or whatever it is that you're trying to be great at. And so I want to say thank you to everybody that reached out after the Friday Face-Off episode that we put out there last week or a couple weeks ago about the letter that my dad wrote to my sister. Man, dude, that's what it's all about. And I remember my sister, she told us about it and she read it to us on our way actually down into the city for our little cousin's thing. And I remember just getting choked up in the car, just reading it, especially myself having, three daughters. And for those that haven't listened to that yet, my sister, as with all of us, one of her kids had a meltdown at kind of like a holiday party for our family. And, she handled it the way she handled it, and it was difficult, but my dad wrote her a letter the next day, just kind of like, hey, like, you're super mom. Great job. Thank you. I see you. Oh man, if you haven't listened to that, the Friday Face-Off from a couple weeks ago, like that was, dude, it's going to tug at the heartstrings. If you are a hockey mom, you need to listen to it. If you're a male, you need to listen to it and do that for your daughter, for your wife, or for your mom. Just tugged at the heartstrings. What'd you think, man? Like that was pretty cool from my dad.
Yeah, I know. I was I had a little mist in my eyes. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was written by your dad, so I was right there with him. I know he cried while he was writing it. I'm surprised he could even get it out while not tearing up the page and messing up the ink.
Well, it was via email, so
okay.
Maybe yeah, like not getting water on the keyboard. Something like that.
No, but it was awesome.
But yeah, if you haven't listened to that yet, like go back and listen to it. It was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. So, you know what else is pretty cool? Jakub Dobeš.
Pretty friggin' cool, guys.
And you know what else is really cool? icehockeysystems.com.
.com.
So before we get over to Jakub, let's talk about some people who support us, and let's support them. First, our title sponsor, icehockeysystems.com. Guys, this is an unbelievable site, and they got some big things coming down the hopper too in the year 2025. So stay tuned for that. But unbelievable website for all your coaching education needs. They got thousands of drills on there to help you out. Whiteboard explanations from some incredibly awesome hockey people. The ability to go in and digitally drop your drills and send them out to your team, send them out to your parents, drop a drill library that you can have for your entire organization. That's something that we have partnered with them is, hey, you do that and you get this for every single coach in your organization. And imagine having the ability to drop a drill library, drop a practice plan library that all your coaches can just go to before their practices and get it and use it. And it's so valuable for people who are really passionate about coaching development, because there's so much great information on there for development, but it's also really, really good for a lot of coaches who have a lot on their plate and are doing a lot and might not have the time to sit down for half an hour and plan out a practice. They can go in, they can take a practice plan and use it. Everything's age appropriate. It's absolutely incredible, guys. So go to icehockeysystems.com today. Check out the associations platform. You can get this for every single coach in your organization. Jeffrey, you
want to say thank you to Train Heroic. Train Heroic is the amazing app that allows me to train so many individuals and teams across the world. There's a reason that I'm able to train these teams so effectively, so efficiently at such a cheap price. My whole goal with Train Heroic is to help people that either can't afford quality training or they're in some type of situation where there's not a gym near them. I just find ways to make it work. And Train Heroic allows that. It's the reason I'm able to work with so many junior teams, college teams, youth teams all across the country. So thank you to Train Heroic. If you're a mom or dad, join my GMBM online training team. You'll get in the best shape of your entire life. They are my personal workouts that I do every single day. Also want to say thank you to Cured Nutrition, CBD. You guys know I've been taking it twice a day, every single day. I've been on the Rise in the morning and the Zen at night for the past 2 or 3 months. I absolutely love it. If you have any questions about CBD, what, when, where, why, how it works, all those things, please reach out to me. I'm a massive proponent for plants over pills anytime it is possible. You can go to curednutrition.com and use my discount code GMBM.
Also want to thank Helios Hockey, an unbelievable product. It's a sensor that you put in your shoulder pad and gives you data, real-time feedback on your play. So basically every time you move, that sensor goes and it tracks a lot of different things that you do. Particularly, it links up with video for practices and games and gives you feedback on your stride length, stride mechanics, things like that. Also, the kids love a hustle score. They get a hustle score from what they have going on the ice, and they absolutely love that. So again, like I said, it pairs up with your video. Game changer. Why? Because whatever you're using for video, whether it's Live Barn, whether it's an iPad, whether it's a camera, it syncs up with it and you get your shifts cut up for you if you're playing a game right after the game. Absolute game changer. Wish I had this thing when I was a young hockey player. Go to helioshockey.com, use the coupon code ThinkTank, one word, and you will get 20% off your pro annual or pro 24-month subscription. Or if you go to helioshockey.com/teams, use that discount code, you can get this a huge discount for every player on your team. So go to helioshockey.com today. Also want to thank Crossbar. What an absolute game changer for youth hockey organizations. Go to crossbar.org and check it out. But basically what it is, it's end-to-end software solution for any youth hockey club to use to streamline all your operations. So what does that mean? That means an unbelievable website design, so easy to look at, so easy to use. Registration for your season, big picture or smaller picture for drop-ins or clinics or lessons. There's a club scheduler, 5-star communications app. There's things you can use for financial reporting, volunteer management, facility management. Man, it just honestly streamlines everything and makes life so much easier for anybody running a youth hockey club. So go to crossbar.org today and check it out. And as always, thank you, all of you, for continuing to listen to our podcast and continuing to support what we do. We absolutely love you guys. It's why we're still doing this 6 years later, 2 million downloads later, 300 some odd episodes later. I don't even know what episode we're on anymore, but man, just thank you guys so much. All the feedback that we get from you guys, we so appreciate it, whether you're reaching out to us on email or on social media. Every time you interact with our stuff on, Apple Podcasts or iTunes with comments or downloads or ratings or follows, it just goes a long way with the algorithm to, get our podcast in more people's ears. And we try to spread the positivity and we try to speak some truth to the hockey world. And if you think we're doing a good job of that, please, please, please continue to share us so we can grow and continue to help this hockey community be a better place. So we love you guys so much. We so appreciate you. You're going to absolutely love this episode. So without further ado, here we go with current Montreal Canadiens goaltender and Jeff Lavecchio's student in the gym, Jakub Dobeš. Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. All right, we are so excited to have on this episode of the podcast up in beautiful Montreal, Quebec. We got Jakub Dobeš back on the podcast for round 2. How we doing today, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Vex, I'm going to let you kind of start this one off because like you are just a kid in a candy store right now, my man. Like you are so excited right now. So let's see, what do you got?
There's so much room for activities in here. I mean, it's for those of you guys who listen to podcasts or follow me on the gram, you guys might know, but I've trained Dobie since he was 17 years old. Really, really cool story. A lot of people now know Dobie's name after the his first 2 games in the NHL where he had a shutout and then a come from behind win in a shootout, which was just spectacular fashion. But, I've known Dobie since he was 17 years old. Really cool. He left his home country of the Czech when he was young. What were you, Dobie, 16 when you left?
15. Yeah.
15 when he left. It was just a big decision. I left home at end of my 15-year-old year. And it's not easy. And I went 5 hours north to Toph's house where I was living with my aunt and uncle. Dobie flew halfway across the world to live in St. Louis, Missouri for some reason. And a year later, I retired and met Dobie and started working together and have been working together every off season since in the gym. The boys love him. The ladies love him. Everybody loves him in Montreal right now. He's a character. He's a great guy. He's a great teammate. He's a great client to have to work with in the gym. Just a cool person with a big heart and very, very, very excited for what he's been able to do in the NHL thus far, getting the call up. But for me, it's been really cool because I've been on the ride with him for 5 or 6 years and just seeing him go through all the different stages of midget hockey to junior hockey to college hockey to the AHL and now to the NHL. And there's very few people who deserve it more. And I'll finish cherry on top. I've trained thousands of players in person, tens of thousands in person and online. And there have only been 2 people below the age of 18 that I have ever said, this person is 100% going to play a game in the NHL, and I've been correct on both of those players. They're both goalies that train with me, both Joseph Wall and Jakub Dobeš. Welcome to the podcast, Dobie.
That was a good intro. That was really good.
I think the best thing, too, is already once off air and once on the air, I've seen Dobie roll his eyes at you twice.
Oh, lots of eye rolling. Lots of eye rolling.
I love that too. I love that too.
He knows what to expect with me. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dobie, I got to ask you this first before we get into your journey, but we're a couple weeks past World Juniors now, and Czechia is like starting to freaking really make a name for itself in international competitions. Not that you didn't like previously, as far as I think, what was it, 98? You guys won the gold medal with Yager and Hasek, but like now at the junior level, you guys are starting to really make a name too. How like, is there a reason why, or what do you think's going on there?
I have no idea. I haven't been there that much. So, but the 2000s were kind of weak. 2001s were really weak. 2002s and up are starting to get better.
Are they doing anything differently?
I have no idea. I don't think so. I just feel like better age groups are coming up. And I don't know. I'm not really too sure what's going on, but good for them. It's good they're getting medals.
I like it. Well, growing up over that way, what got you to fall in love with this great game, man?
Well, my dad was a goalie and my mom was a figure skater, so I was kind of around the ice since probably 3-4 years old. So I tried it and I stayed in the net. I think I played a forward once in my life, but besides that, I played goalie for probably 19, 20 years, 18 to 20 years. So yeah, I was always in the net. So
were you big when you were younger?
No. I
you
was
hit a growth spurt.
I hit puberty late, like 14, 15. And when I got to US, I kind of started growing. So it was weird. Wasn't really sure how tall I was pretty scared I'm not going to be tall at all. So somehow I grew a lot. But my dad is tall, so I don't know, it made sense, but also as I said, I hit puberty kind of late, so it wasn't always easy, for me to compete against other people.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, though, because we talk about a lot, like it's actually a lot of times an advantage to be a late mature and not be the biggest person on the team at young ages for players, not necessarily goalies, because as a player, when you're maybe not as strong or you're not as big or as fast, you have to think your way around the game to be successful. And from a goalie standpoint, maybe not being the biggest, you have to focus and really rely on your smarts and rely on your skating and making sure you're in the right spots a lot more. You can't get away with just being big and taking up the net. Do you think that like being a late mature and maybe not being that big when you were younger and having to focus on the things like hockey sense and skating that translate to the next level, do you think that is a part of the reason why you were able to develop into the player that you are today?
I think so, because when you're smaller, you got to be athletic and you got to just make saves that because you don't have as much saves, you gotta rely on your skill and athleticism. So now I'm tall, so if we put those two things together and you learn how to play as a bigger goalie and use your size in advantage, and you can also make pretty cool saves that are not usually savable, I think it's a good combination. So yeah, I think it worked in my favor, kind of being a late bloomer in that type of sense.
Like that toe save the other night in the NHL.
Yeah.
Oh, yucky.
Yeah, that was I didn't see the release. I just saw him putting his stick up high and I just put my pad there and luckily I made a save. So that was huge for us because we needed that point for our run or catching up to the playoffs. So that was very cool.
As of today, if the season ended today, the Montreal Canadiens would be in the playoffs, man. Which you never would have thought that a couple months ago,
no,
even a month ago. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. One of the guys we've had on the podcast before years ago was Marty St. Louis. He's My idol. I'm 5'4". He's got me by a little bit, but just a great hockey mind and obviously a passionate hockey guy. What's it like being around him as a head coach there?
As a head coach and coach, I feel like he likes to improve. He likes to study the game, and I feel like he's a really important piece of our team. And he's a really motivating person, and just being in his being around him is an honor for me because I know how much he done in the game and how much he sacrificed for the game and how much of a legend he is in the hockey world. So having someone in the locker room like him is a big honor. So I'm trying to just watch and learn from him if I ever want to become a coach or having a good career. I feel like having career as good of he had, it will be unbelievable.
Can Big Cat score on you or no? Let's hear it. I want to chirp him. Give me some Big Cat juicy stories that I can text him and chirp him with after this.
Well, the thing is that 2 years ago, our first development camp, we had a bet. It was like 8 or 9 shootouts. He cannot score 3 goals. And on the last attempt, he scored the third one, and I lost $100.
Oh wow! Come on, Dobie.
So, but like it's unfair because he's so bad, like coming at you. It's you don't know what to do.
It's like when somebody shoots the puck like too slow, and you're used to a pass shot, kind of.
It's like you go against Suzuki or Caulfield, and in 10 minutes after Big Cat is coming at you, you're like it's kind of honestly really hard because you have no idea what is he going to
that's awesome.
do. And he told me after the Avalanche, because we did shootouts the morning skate before or something, I don't know, we did shootouts, and that time he couldn't really score much, and he goes, yeah, like, you're welcome for preparing you for Rantanen and whoever. I'm like, yeah,
it was all you.
Totally
yeah,
equivalent.
Yeah.
Totally equivalent. For those of you that don't know, Big Cat is Adam Nicholas, one of our favorites on the show here. God, he's been on 4 or 5 times, maybe.
So many times.
Not in a bit, but just an absolute legend. Was texting with him actually yesterday. Well, good stuff, man. Well, I want to know, like, you go from midget hockey, you play juniors, then you go into college and then a pro. Like, what are some of the biggest things you've learned from, making the jump from college hockey to pro hockey? Maybe in different ways that you need to prepare or different mindsets, learning things from some of the other guys that you've been around. What are some of the biggest things that you've learned from being able to play pro here?
I think the biggest difference from college to pro is practices or work ethic. They expect you to have good practices all the time. In college, if you're kind of, the top guy or they rely on you and the stuff, obviously depends where you are, but sometimes I feel like in college I didn't push myself as hard as I could, but like in pro, I feel like practice is very similar to a game. It's like it can really depend if the coach is confident in you or not. So that's the one thing I always try to improve on, having really good practices, because they are, at least here, really very focused on that. So that's the one thing that I started being better at. It's focusing on my practice habits and having quality reps and doing everything with a purpose and not just going through the motion on the ice.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear you say that. It's really funny because, we might have talked about this the last time you were on Dobie, but I was at Michigan for a year, and I remember when we came out to play you guys in Columbus, and we were practicing after you guys, and we were getting ready and everything, and there was one person on the ice at the end of practice staying out there later. And it was you. It was just you, and you were working in your crease. You were doing some movement type stuff and things like that. And I remember texting you, Vex. I'm like, yep, this is one of your guys. You'd be proud of this. And you were out there by yourself for a long time, man.
I actually do remember. I do remember that. You guys were all staring at me. I'm like, what is going? Well, it's more like visual. Like me and Jeff do a lot of things that, visualizing and stuff
Yep.
like that. So that was kind of that's what I was doing before a game. But now I kind of changed it and I do it off the ice. I used to do it a lot after a morning skate, but I felt like it took a lot of energy. So now I do it off the ice. So, pro kind of changes your habits a little bit because it's hard to manage your energy all the time. College and pro game wise, you almost play every other day. So um, it's all different.
Yes.
That's so true. I remember Dobie, my first game, and you'll laugh because you know how hard we all trained in my gym, and obviously, and I was warming up, and I was doing like a college warm up for my first AHL game after I signed with the Bruins, and I'm doing like a full 30-minute college style warm up. I'm doing sprints under the rink, and and a guy who's had like 500 games in the NHL, our captain, comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey man, this is pro hockey. You're not going to be able to do that warm up for 82 games. You got to learn to shorten that warm up because you're going to be playing way more games here and you will have no energy." And I was like, "Oh, wow. Never even thought of that." So it's like, it's a big difference learning the difference between junior and then college, because junior, you're playing more games, then college, you play less games. Then you go to pro and you're playing the most games you've ever played. And actually last year, didn't you tie for first, or you got second in the AHL for most games played by a goalie, and you were a rookie in the AHL, correct?
Tied for first.
Not a big deal. What's up? Like going from college, like Toph was saying, you were saying, I remember talking to you after your first year pro, and you were saying, a big difference was that, at Ohio State, they kind of let you, if you're playing every single game, it wasn't like a, 1A, 1B type of thing, and you'd be gassed, obviously. So you take it easier sometimes in practice, and in pro, not going to happen. Trying to battle for the starting job, trying to prove that you belong there every single day. Have you changed your routine going into practices because now practices mean more to you?
Yeah, I will do a lot of, we usually work out the first thing in the morning, so that kind of gets you going, your body. And after, I try to do, balls on a wall or something like that, warm my eyes. And after we go on the ice and we have a goalie skate, and after we go for real practice. So I feel like we do a lot of quality reps before the actual practice goes. So definitely more than the players. Players sometimes they just go to the gym and straight to the practice. I feel like goalies, we take a lot of reps before practice starts. So yeah, we take care of our bodies pretty well.
It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk a little bit about, your journey here, and you get out to St. Louis. And one of the things that Vex has talked about is just your commitment level, not just to being a goalie, but being an athlete, and just how you do anything is how you do everything kind of stuff. And Vex, I think you talked about how you sent like your meals, you took a picture of every meal at some point and sent it to Vex or something like that. Like,
yeah. Well, it was kind of challenging to have a good meals, because if you go to high schools, and my first year I was in a boarding school, so there was an option to get like a pre-made meals, from a family, and you go to a cafeteria. Usually there's a lot of stuff where it's not really healthy. So we pretty much started from zero, from absolute scratch to, because even on the pictures I sent to Rex, the food, it wasn't a good meal, but we started, one by one, like getting better, like every 1 to 5% every day. And eventually I kind of realized, what do I need as an athlete to kind of, have some kind of shape, and, try to perform better and have more energy and better recovery. So we just started from absolutely zero to just realizing what's good for your body and what's not.
And how much of a difference did you start to notice from when you went from eating Panda Express every day or twice a day to eating more nutritious foods and making sure you're hitting your protein. And because we have a lot of young listeners that listen to this show,
Yeah.
so it's like, did you feel a difference physically, cognitively? If you don't know what that means, that's your brain. He speaks like 6 languages.
Jeff, do you know what that means?
Yeah, no, still figured it out. But like it's I know when I figured that out, it changed my life. Like the recovery and feeling better and thinking faster. As a goalie, you make a mistake mentally, like it's in the back of the net. Everybody sees it, everybody knows. So was that a big change for you in your career, in your life, kind of learning that?
Yeah. I feel like the most important things is protein. To have protein as much as you can. Like protein shakes, I feel like are really important. I try to have a 1 protein shake a day because not always you get enough protein in you. I feel like per day depends what type of meal do you have. And supplements, I feel like are really important, like magnesium and water, hydration. I feel like those are really important for your legs to be able to go back to back to back to back and be consistent. So I feel like those are kind of the most 2 to 3 important things that I learned that I do every day. And everyone is different. Depends on a body shape if you need more of that or more of that. But those were kind of the 3 most important things that I learned: having more protein, rehydrate as much as you can, and take some supplements, for your needs or for how much do you play or how much do you sweat or, how does your body feel.
Love that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Take the exit. Turn right into the drive-thru.
Nope, I'm making dinner tonight.
You don't have time. Josh has practice.
Oh, that's right. I'll just get a salad.
And fries?
No, just the salad.
But salad cancels fries.
Salad only.
Fries.
Salad.
Fries.
Food noise isn't fair, but Mochi Health is. The affordable GLP-1 source that puts you on the road to successful weight loss.
Hey, can I get the
fries?
Salad. Sorry.
Learn more at joinmochi.com. Mochi members have access to licensed physicians and nutritionists. Results may vary.
Well, talk a little bit to us about how important consistency is, and how that's kind of the thinking that you have about consistency. I've always, and Vex and I talk a lot about just like consistency wins out in the end, and playing pro hockey now, being the grind that it is, you're playing every other night, you're practicing, you're traveling, all that kind of stuff. How important is consistency in your routine, in your preparation to your playing and being consistent, when the lights are on in the game, and how much do you value that?
Yeah, I think being consistent in your preparation is important because that's, I feel like, where you're getting your kind of you feel like you're in a zone, if you do everything properly and the puck drops, I feel like you have a free mind and you don't kind of look back like I could have done more, I could have prepared more. And with the consistency part, I feel like for the coaches, that's the most valuable thing you can give them. If they believe that you are a consistent player, it goes along the way for rest of your career because they will play you more and more, and they can just tell that even though you don't have your A game, you will still have probably your B game or C game. But if you play bad, the next night they will probably expect a good game from you. So it comes, with everything. You got to be consistent with your nutrition, with your preparation, and show up when you really need to, especially in games and practices.
So thinking along those lines, let's say you lay an egg, you have a crappy game. Is there anything that you've learned to do to try and bounce back the next day for practice, for games, anything? Do you change anything up the next day?
No.
Do you pretend that game didn't happen? Like, because some players are like, it didn't happen, I'm still me. Some players are going to dig into it and be like, okay, where could I have done better? Like, where do you fall on that spectrum if you do have a random bad game?
For me, it's I always told my goalie coach, it's like, just play me tomorrow or as fast as I can, because you kind of have it in back of your mind, so you kind of want to redeem yourself. So that's how I work. It's like, if I have a bad game, I want to play the next one as soon as possible, because I know that I will just put up everything that I have, and I know I'll be even more confident because I know I could have done more the last game. So for me, it's that I want to be in a lineup or whatever I need to do to play again, to be kind of get that feeling out of your body. And I don't know, that's just me. I just want to play right away, and I know I will play good.
Let's say, because again, we have a lot of young players that listen to this. Let's say that that bad game happens, and then you don't play again for a week, so all you have is practice. How are you going into practice for that week? Are you doing things differently? Yeah. Are you warming up differently? Or you're just like, I'm just going to send it in practice? You know what I mean?
Well, if it depends on the result. Like, obviously the day off after kind of sucks, because, it's just in back of your head. But I feel like during that week of practice, you need to bring that energy or the fuel, or you're being angry with something into the practice, and that's how you get better, and just keep the same energy, or keep being hungry the same week. And when the week comes and you're playing good, then you can fully accomplish the next day or the day after. But I feel like you kind of remember the feeling, how shitty you feel after that game, and just remember it as long as you can, because I feel like if you have something to prove, you play at your best.
Yeah. I love that. I want to go back to something you talked about earlier, just as far as like the coaches love consistent people. When you're consistent as a player, and this is me talking as a former coach, like, I don't think there's anything that builds trust with coaches more than being consistent and knowing what you're going to get from a player every day.
Yeah.
And when you have trust from a coach, you're going to play more. They're, for all the young kids out there, like they're going to be able to trust you in different situations, and when the game's on the line and all that kind of stuff. And so that's like the greatest thing. I think you even said it, Dobie, like the greatest thing that you can give to a coach as a player is a consistent work ethic with everything that you do, because that earns that trust, and then it goes from there. So for all the kids out there that are listening, you heard it from Dobie from the players side, but I wanted to give my 2 cents from a coach. Like, there is no greater gift you can give to a coach than consistency. I know what I'm going to get out of this kid. When I was recruiting, like, that is, you love to hear that. Like, I know what I'm going to get from them every game, every practice, every game, every lift. You know what to expect from them in the classroom. Like, they're going to show up there too. Like, that's a big part of it. In fact, I'm sure that's something that you guys talk a lot about in the gym, man.
100%. You guys, especially now that Dobie's a pro, like, it doesn't matter what's happened outside the gym. Good day, bad day, indifferent day. You show up in this 2 hours that you're in here. It's like, this is your job. Like, you're here to do everything you can to get as good as you can, so that you can play the game as long as you can, make as much money as you can, win as many games as you can, try and make the playoffs, try and win the Stanley effing Cup. But also something that I've noticed coaching and being in the gym with so many players over the years is, like, the players that care the most are also the ones that wind up being the most consistent. And I don't remember if we talked about this with Dobie on the last time that he was on, because it's been a while, but I remember, it was my first year that I was retired from playing in Europe. when I coached Dobie, and Dobie likes to talk some smack a little bit. Like he likes to have fun with the boys. Everybody's chirping everybody. You know how it is in the locker room. And I was fresh off playing, and I think I was probably chirping Dobie too hard. Dobie's chirping me. So somebody starts chirping me. Sometimes I get a little gutty and I go a little hard. And I remember Dobie came up to me one time. He's like, "Hey, the chirps are too much. I don't like where they're going." And I was like, "Oh man, like I'm glad you came and told me that," because he thought I didn't like him. And we were still new, getting to know each other. And he, as a man, as a 17-year-old, came up to me, jacked, tatted, scary model, handsome guy that I am. And no, and he was like, do you not like me? Like, why are we chirping so hard? And we had a great talk. And then from there, it was smooth sailing. And obviously I've been working together for years, but I loved that a kid who's 17 years old came up to his coach to have a real conversation with him, because he cares so much about the game, about playing. And it's like, if you want to be a consistent player, you don't become consistent on accident. It is work. You got to work at everything. You got to do video. You got to eat right. You got to work out. You got to have detailed practices. You got to be able to talk to your coaches and ask them, like, what are you looking for out of me? And, can I do better? And let's do video together. And you got to do every single thing you possibly can to become the best player you can be, which is obviously why Dobie is in the NHL right now, 2-0.
Man, Dobie, how intimidating was that to have to go up and have that conversation with this tatted what did you say? Model,
jacked,
all that stuff. You must have been trembling in your boots. Jeez.
I do remember that moment. It was at Mills. It was like 5 p.m. We were not used to working out after practice. Everyone was like, "What the hell is going on? Why are we here?" And we are listening to Jeff after everyone was to go home. And like, I remember just everyone is chirping each other, and I get involved, and he fires back, and it gets too far. And I'm like, whatever. So we talked after practice, and since then we were all good, because I kind of started understanding Jeff a little bit more, how he operates, or how he is as a person. So yeah, we had a little talk.
Just a beauty.
He was just mad that I was scoring on him in practice. No, actually, Dobie, I say this to everybody when they ask me about Dobie. I'm like, God, man. Like, now I'm not good at hockey. I skate once a year, once every 2 years. Back, I fresh off of retiring. And like, Dobie was 17, and he was pretty hard for me to score on. Like, I was like, God, thank God I'm not playing this year, because I'm losing confidence shooting on this kid.
Come on, you didn't score 10 many goals, so it's not.
Come on, bro. I used to own your 5-hole, but it was hard. I had to try hard to score on you, and he was 17. I was like, damn, dude, this kid is really good. He scored a goal that year too. Scored a goal as a 17-year-old. Not a big deal.
That is true.
Cool. What a beauty you are, Vex. Hey, Dobie, I know Vex has said it a couple of times, but we got a lot of young kids that listen to the podcast, and a lot of the questions we get from our listeners is we got a lot of goalies that listen too, and they're like, hey, you guys talk about players a lot, but you don't talk about goalies that much. So I guess one of the questions I have for you, for the young kids that are listening, or even the coaches out there that are coaching goalies at the younger ages, like what's some advice that you might give a younger kid, that has dreams and aspirations to being where you're at, that put on the pads and play your position? What's some advice that you would give a youth hockey player that's playing the position?
Well, he's got to first of all really enjoy being a goalie. If you don't enjoy being a goalie, I don't think it's a smart decision to stay, because it's a long journey. It's a lot of pucks. It's a lot of shots that you take every day. So I think that's the first thing. You really got to be a little different and enjoy saving pucks, because it doesn't stop. If you want to go pro, it's every day, and the shots are getting harder and better. So I think that's the one thing. I believe that you just got to be a little different as a goalie. Another advice I can give to a goalie is I like simplicity. I feel like you gotta simplify your game and your mind and work a lot you got to connect your brain and your game together. And I feel like if you realize that the hockey or the players or the situations are not as complicated, you can play at every level you possibly can if you have the talent to do so.
Hmm.
That's kind of what I, over the years, with Vex or with my mental coach, realized that the mind is really important. You got to have a strong mind and you got to do a lot of research to, I try to simplify the game and try to break down the plays, like 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, power plays, and like over and over in my mind looking at it. And I feel like in the games it just comes, it's like a puzzle, like once you get the puzzle going over and over again, it's kind of automatic. And the third thing, as I mentioned, is working on your mind, because if you have a strong mind as a goalie, that's really important, because if you learn tricks and you learn things that can help you in a game, it can help you, get a couple more wins along the way and just be more successful.
I love
So,
that.
for instance, if you get scored on, is there something that you like to do?
Um,
And has that changed from when you were younger to now being a pro?
yeah, you remember younger, my body language wasn't always the best because I was really into the game and trying to,
Because you
save
want to
every
win.
puck. Yeah. But I feel like for the team and for everyone in the stands and everyone watching, if you don't notice, if you don't let people notice that something bothers you, and you show them that you don't care and you're just ready for the next play, I think that's what, a lot of scouts or coaches or parents or anyone, notice, because you don't see them you see them unbothered, which is for goalies really important, because everyone wants to have, calm, confident, and a good goalie, not a goalie who, slams the stick all the time, or screams at the players, or point fingers, or seems like he lost his confidence. So I feel like that's, over the years, you just try to be the calmest and, the most reliable. As a goalie, we take probably the most pressure, as a player on the ice. So you gotta take the responsibility and um, don't show that anything bothers you, because the players are kind of looking up to you.
It's so true, man. Like a goalie's confidence level can give the players in front of them confidence big time.
Yeah.
If you exude that confidence and it's water off a duck's back after mistakes and things like that, the team's going to be so much more confident. I don't know. Like I've always been a big believer that like there are certain goalies that the players in front of them want to play for, and they'll, be a little bit more apt to block a shot or a little bit more apt to take a sacrifice play. And then if your goalie is a guy that the people don't like, or the goalie's a guy that, is yelling at the players or whatever, like they're going to be like, kind of, I don't know if I'm going to get in front of this shot, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen that before. Though one of the other things, one of the other, pieces of advice that I've heard, he was from a college hockey coach that played Division I hockey. The way that he likes to talk about it is that goalies aren't just goalies. Goalies are hockey players. And we got to think of goalies not just as goalies, but they're hockey players, right? And they got to like understand the game, and they got to just understand how everything goes throughout the play, and just the intricacies of the game, and really understanding it, right? So would you say that that's really important too? Like goalies, you're not just a goalie, you're a hockey player. You're a part of the team. You're not just this one person on an island that has to do everything so differently. You're a hockey player like everybody else.
Yeah, I was talking about it like with the simplifying the game. Like I can just, I don't want to say everything that goes through my mind, because it takes a lot of time. But for a goalie, it's like usually coming from the neutral zone to my defensive zone, or their offensive zone. You have five probably most recent plays that happens. It's 3-on-2, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 1-on-1, breakaway. I feel like those are the most common plays. I don't know, 3-on-3 sometimes, depends really. So I feel like that's what I kind of try to like visualize, like me saving the pucks and me knowing what to do if 3-on-2 happens. Try to stay on your feet, don't slide. Like if it's a breakaway, be patient, read the stick, have a ready stance. 2-on-1, be a little deeper because it's a 2-on-1. There's a backdoor play. What if he's a lefty or righty? Is he going to shoot or pass? Where is the other guy? Is he behind? Is he slowing down? Is he, doing something? So that's kind of like when I was talking with simplifying the game and visualizing, it's like that's what I really focus on. It's like visualizing the situations, and I'm doing it pretty much every week, once or twice, maybe more, depends on how many games. So when the game comes, it's kind of like I expect, you've been through it, so you kind of expect and you know what to do. So at that moment, you are just kind of like, okay, I just gotta, stop the puck. You don't need to. I don't feel like I'm behind the play ever. I feel like I'm ahead of the play, and that's why I feel like a lot of people were saying I look very calm in the games. I feel like it's because I just know and I expect, what's going to happen. So I'm just like kind of playing my game and just kind of, relaxing because I know I'm prepared for most of the situation. So, but obviously sometimes you are going to get scored on. There are plays that you don't expect, but you cannot be perfect. So.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/secure. Protect yourself now at aura.com/secure.
Yeah, man, I love that. And just you going through like all those different plays and all those different scenarios and playing it out. What so many people, at the youth level don't understand and maybe not talk about as much with goalies is just how important that is, the hockey sense and how important hockey sense and being able to read a play is, right?
But hockey is not, it is a hard sport, but it's not a chess or something like really hard. Like, for example, power plays, you have everyone I feel like is running the same power play. One guy in front, one guy bumper, one guy in the middle, one or two guys up top, and it's the same plays over and over again. It just depends on the execution.
Yeah.
So I feel like if the goalie studies and see if the guys go from, like spread to diamond, and like the goalies can realize it, okay, like they have certain amount of options. If he's coming out of the flank, he's either going to shoot, or pass, or there. It's just, I feel like the hockey is not that complicated. I feel like you got to really pick it, because I feel like the coaches and the in the NHL, like if someone wins the cup, I feel like everyone kind of copies what other people do. And when we play against Florida, like the game plan was, hey, they are going to dump a lot of puck and they're going to go a lot of low to high, and that's exactly what they did, and we were kind of prepared for it. So that's why I was really like focusing on not giving any rebounds in that game, and I feel like that's that was kind of, we had a success because they didn't get any second and third chances.
Just studying patterns just studying the game so important.
And that's like, even like I see like a lot of people are creating their hockey schools, or Jeff is doing their like podcasts, and it costs, like sometimes it costs money to get that information. And like younger, I was like, why is like this program for like $500, or why is this mental coach for $300? It's so much money, and he just talks. But like, it's the experience that you just gotta get, so I feel like the more you invest in a research and like people that have been in the sport and they share the information, not you might not take everything from him, but maybe you take one or two things. And as I said, it might win you 3 more games or 4 more games, and you might get, a call up, or you get drafted, or someone is at the game. You just never know. So that's kind of what I try to invest in that type of stuff, and try to get as much as I can from other people that are more older, and like Vex is almost 45, so it's
Well played.
Yes.
Well played, bro. I got so much gray hair. I'm growing it out right now. It's crazy.
Are you actually growing your hair out right now?
I'm like, man, I have tons of hair. Not losing any, knock on wood. But I'm like, probably last time I'll ever grow my hair out again if I do it. So I'm committing to it. I'm gonna try. But anyways, so the gray is it's looking real. That's not looking good right now with the grays.
I think the gray is a good look.
Gray short hair, George Clooney, very, very nice. Long hair, and they're like everywhere, and they stick out more because they're like more brittle. It's a tough look. But anyways, I digress. Dobie, I got about 10 minutes here before I got to get back to training the youngsters of St. Louis here, my man. You brought up your first NHL game with Florida and kind of the game plan there and stuff. What was it like, man? What was it like to get the call, Dobie, you're coming up to play in the NHL tomorrow or whatever it was? And what was it like, first lap, no bucket, take a shot? I couldn't tell if you hit the net or not on your first shot.
Missed.
And I thought you missed, but I wasn't sure. And then obviously, listen to national anthem, NHL game. Like, how was it, man? And how's the last 2 weeks been of your life?
Well, I remember we had a Christmas break, and that day I knew something was going on because the coaches didn't really talk to me during the day, and I was like, oh, this is weird. Did I do something? And after practice, they called me, hey, like, they told me I'm going to get sent down to the coast.
What?
I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what? I know. He goes, yeah, you're going up. You are going up. Good luck. Enjoy it. And so I packed my things, and the next day I'm on a flight to Florida, and that night actually Marty called me and said that I'm playing against Florida. So I'm like, oh, okay, perfect.
Stanley
I
Cup
mean,
champs. Here we go.
Stanley Cup champs, and like Matthew Tkachuk is there, and Reinhardt, and so we got there. I think I FaceTime Jeff and like showed him my room. I'm like, it's unbelievable. Practice
He's
a
like,
little
Ritz
bit.
Carlton's across the street. I'm at a nice hotel, room to myself. This is the NHL. I'm never going back, baby.
I didn't say those exact words, but I remember, it was a lot of social media, a lot of cameras, a lot of the rookie labs and pictures. So I didn't. It's weird, like as a hockey player, and like I feel like you want to perform to stay there instead of like. I didn't really enjoy much of like the cameras and the attention. I just wanted to enjoy like playing the game and competing against the guy. So like once I missed those 2 shots in a rookie lap and I could finally put my helmet on and like actually do my job and prepare for the game, that's where I kind of started enjoying it more, because that was just fun. Like the rookie lap and everything is so special, but I'm just like really focused on doing my job and performing. So it's kind of like, yeah, you're enjoying it, but also like you're like, this
Let's
is
go.
not my routine. Like
Let's
I
play
just want to
hockey.
go, so it's those two kind of things, but it was great. I saw everyone after the game, and we won in Tampa, rookie party in Vegas. We won in Vegas too. Unfortunately we lost in Chicago, and we got to Colorado, beat them, and beat Vancouver 2 nights ago, and now we are going against Washington on Friday.
Awesome, man.
Unreal, man.
Little bit better meals on the road in the NHL, and the flight is
Jesus.
a little bit easier.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, hey.
I swear to God, the flights or the meals we have on our plane are better than in restaurants. It's unbelievable what we get, because usually when I fly from Europe to US or from US to Europe or anywhere, the meals are so bad. Like I haven't got used to how good the meal looks when you get it on a plane. It's really good.
It's come full circle with your your high school meals that you were sending Vex that were so unhealthy and brutal. Now you're eating 5-star Michelin type stuff on plane rides.
No, I told them that I'm because they said that they don't consume everything. We cannot, because they order more or they prepare more, so not everyone takes it. So I said, oh, I'm going to take it. So after Washington, I'm taking a bunch of meals home, because
So awesome.
I'm not going to let it to waste, and it's too good to just leave it, So
I love that. Well, you obviously get the opportunity to play for Original Six franchise, the fan base in Montreal, one of the best in all of hockey. What's that been like, just putting the Habs jersey on, understanding the history, and even from a goaltending perspective, the people that came before you, the Drydens, the Patrick Waghs, and things like that. What's kind of like that been like, just being able to be a part of that organization?
No, I don't know where to start. Like we have everything. Like I feel like everyone should live a day of what we get as being a part of Montreal Canadiens. The history, all the players that had the jersey before, it makes you feel it's kind of like magical, honestly, to be playing in this city. We play in Columbus, we played everywhere. Like I saw a lot of NHL arenas, but it's nothing compared to Bell Center. I was there, I was on a bench against Vancouver, and I was kind of nervous just being a backup, because it's way bigger than I ever seen. We have 21,000 and they pack it. And we are going on a warm-ups and it's full.
That's awesome.
There's 18,000 people sitting. It was you just gotta see it. I'm so honored to be part of something like this. It's nothing like this, to be honest. It's unbelievable. Every day is actually really cool. I have a pretty cool life right now.
You earned it, bro. You earned it, Dobie. It's been really, really cool to see all that you've done. And, obviously, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, like I left home before my 16th birthday and I know how hard that was. And I was living with my cousin and my aunts and uncles and only 5 hours away. For you to make that decision, before you could even drive in the US and living halfway across the globe and parents not being able to come visit you often, like the sacrifices that you've made and the investments in yourself and all the time and all the energy and all the effort and learning multiple languages and all the things you've had to do to get here, man. It's very, 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 very cool. It's very cool to see people who have worked as hard as you and sacrificed as hard as you earn that cookie at the end. And excited to see you keep going here, bro, and just keep playing well, keep being you, the calmest freaking guy in the net I've ever seen. And just so excited for you, so stoked for you, Dobie. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here. I know you're busy, buddy.
No, of course. I appreciate it. It was a good chat.
Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. Can't wait to see you this summer. And maybe now, since you're in the NHL, I got to put my pads on this summer and get a couple of you so I can chirp.
It's fine. It's actually been really, what is it, 7 years?
It's been a long time since I shot on you.
You're going to be coming down like the big cat now. All the other guys are going to be shooting, and yours is going to be like a change-up.
Just a straight muff.
No, please, you got to chirp Big Cat as much as you can.
I'm sending him the clip where you chirped him on here as soon as this podcast dropped, for sure.
No, there's more. He had a tough road trip. He had a tough road trip. He needed to spend a lot of money.
Look out!
Because he wasn't really patient with. We play in Florida, and I never got to eat the after game meal because I had so many interviews and stuff like that. I never ate after a game, and apparently Big Cat had 2 balls before everyone even got a chance. So in Vegas, he bought us 50 In-N-Out burgers to make it up. So he's in a tough spot with the meals in the locker room right now.
That's awesome. I love it, man.
I love it. Yeah, man, dude. Thanks so much for coming on. This is great. Keep killing it.
Yeah, Dobie, appreciate you, buddy, so much.
Yeah, no problem.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.